Hey, what's up, everybody? This is John Big Dog Wagner coming at you. See, I got my vest on. I'm at a Walmart distribution center in Arkansas. Just disconnected, etc., etc. Still at the new company. Had a few bumps. Some of the guys I know that I talk to regular, they laughing. The reason why they're laughing is because I've been here officially 2 weeks now. I picked up my truck Tuesday 2 weeks ago, and I'm already on my fourth dispatcher. They're laughing at me because they say that shit don't make no sense. Well, a lot of people fail in this business, and one of the biggest reasons why they fail in this business is they don't know how to take charge of their situation. Most drivers go to a lease purchase company. Whether they have experience, they don't have experience, at the end of the day, the company doesn't know you. And just because you talk a lot of whatever, and I worked before at this company and that company, and I did this and I did that, they don't know you. So because they don't know you, right off the bat, they're going to match you with a new or recently hired dispatcher. So now you and that dispatcher have a relationship. I don't care what you do. I don't care who you deal with. If there's somebody in your life that one way or another, you and that person have a relationship. Everybody thinks of relationships as, the person you're dating, the person you're married to, whatever. But everything is a relationship. But just like today's society, the relationship you have with your other person, I don't want to be specific because there's so many different combinations nowadays. The relationship you have with the other person, most people go in there trying to be the best person they can by their choice. And we have people out there that take advantage of that. They think that because you're trying to be the best person you can, that you're weak, and they can control you, and they can disrespect you, and they can treat you whatever way that they want to. The funny thing about that is, when you try to let them know you're not about that life, all of a sudden all your problems are your fault. And in a way they are. Why? Because you've allowed that person to disrespect you and treat you that way. So then you come up with the bright idea, okay, well then I'm not going to allow this shit no more. I don't want to fight about it no more, so I'm just going to do this. Next thing you know, you're being accused of payback and revenge. And the problem, once again, is you. Now, the funny thing about payback and revenge is they see their guilty conscience is telling them you're doing what they're doing, and they don't like it. So the obvious fix is to stop doing for them to stop doing it, right? No. To them, because they're narcissistic, they're entitled, the way to fix the problem is for you to stop getting payback or you to stop getting revenge. And so on goes the relationship until the point that you just pull out completely. You're done with it because you will not allow yourself to continue to be disrespected. At that point, it's your fault, you're the problem, you're the reason of the breakup, etc., etc. But at that point, you don't really care. Tell whoever you want to tell, whatever you want to tell, I don't care. I'm glad to be free of that situation. At the end of the day, you know what happened. I know what happened. So you can tell whatever makes you feel good. Well, when it comes to dispatchers, it's the same thing. They want that control. They want to be able to dictate to you and tell you where and when you got to go. But this is lease purchase. Lease purchase is not supposed to be forced dispatch. Bottom line. So that dispatcher couldn't figure out how to get off the East Coast, so he had to go. Because I made it very clear I don't run the East Coast. The next dispatcher I get, before he even books me a load, he's trying to impress upon me that a pre-booked load is better than a bid load. I'm like, wait a minute. So you're going to tell me that getting a price over the set price on the pre-booked load is bad? That it's better to take the lesser money and not try to get the more? Oh no, you got to go. And then I got another dispatcher. And with this dispatcher, I swear it was like fighting with one of my exes. Made it very clear I wanted to go to the West Coast. He said he understood, blah, 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 blah. I'm in Texas. He sends me to Nebraska, which should have been a warning sign, but I went. As I'm about to deliver, he says, I'm going to send you to Michigan. Wait a minute, what? Michigan is east. I said I want to go west. And then the problem started. Because I had been respectful with him. I had been decent with him. I had not been confrontational with him. He thought that he was going to bully me and make me, force me to go to Michigan. That day didn't end well. Not only did that day not end well, typical of somebody who's entitled, who knows they messed up, the next day he didn't even come into work. He called in sick. Because that's what people like that do. They don't want to face their issues. They know they're wrong, so they run. I already told him when we were having the issues the other day, this is not going to work for me. At that point, I told him, this relationship is over. This is not going to work for me. So he didn't come in. I talked to his boss yesterday, and today I start with a new dispatcher. So we'll see how that goes. The reason why I bring this up is because, and talking to a lot of people who are in this industry, who are trying to get a leg up, trying to figure out how to make money, trying to figure out how to... Their biggest complaint is the dispatcher. The dispatcher's not doing what they want them to do. And I tell them, if you can't get your dispatcher to do what you want to do, get another dispatcher. In fact, I got a buddy of mine who's trying to help somebody out, and they're in the same situation that he's been telling them to the point that he's tired of telling them, get another dispatcher. You know, if you being nice to somebody has got them in the mindset that you're weak, has got them in the mindset that they can control you, has got them in the mindset that they can dictate to you, when it is in reality that they work for you, then you need to change that relationship. Or you need to end that relationship. Get a new dispatcher. I've had people say, I can't, you know, they won't let me, they won't. Well, then you need to go work for another company. It's that simple. You know, a lot of people get a position and they feel like they're in charge. They feel like they're a boss. They feel like, you know, I'm the man, I got the control. The problem with that is a lot of people want to be a boss but don't know how to be a boss. So they feel like they got to tell you that they're the boss. They got to jump on you and stomp on you and make you believe that they the boss. And we've all had bosses like that. When I worked for bosses like that, that relationship didn't last very long either. Because I can't be controlled. When I had jobs where I became a supervisor, I became a manager, whatever, I would have a meeting with my staff. And I would tell them, yes, I'm your supervisor. Yes, I'm the manager. Yes, I'm your boss. I don't want to be your boss. I want to be your coworker. I want us all to get along and blah, 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 blah. In fact, when we had inspections and things like that, I took the dirtiest, grimiest part of the inspection. Why? One, so I can make sure it's done right. Two, because that way nobody else complain about the assignments that they got. Because I'm doing the worst one. You know what I mean? I led by example. Every now and again somebody would test me and I would have to be a boss. And people quickly realized they'd much rather me be a coworker. True leaders lead by example. You don't got to tell somebody. If you know what you're doing and you're a true leader, you don't have to walk around and tell people that you're the boss. They'll follow you naturally. People who don't know how to be the boss, they got to tell you, they got to stomp on you, they got to make you believe I'm in control. And people who are not actually in control of you, but want to be in control of you because they feel that's going to make their job easier, are going to be even worse. That's just the reality. That's just the way it is. For them, it is too hard to get along. It is too hard to work together. It is too hard to be co-workers. It is too hard to have a positive relationship. No, I want to be in control. And if you have somebody like that that's dictating to you to the point that you trying to get somebody else so you can improve your situation, they're going to stand in front of it. You got to make a decision. Are you in control of your opportunity? Do you work for yourself? Are you a boss? Or are you an employee? And if your answer is that you're an employee, then you're in the wrong business to begin with. I've had people say to me that they have a problem being confrontational. They have a problem dealing with issues. If you can't be confrontational, you're in the wrong business. If you can't plant your feet and stand your ground, you're in the wrong business. Me, myself, I've been confrontational since the day I was born. As I started getting older, I started realizing that being confrontational is not always the best way to be. Because you shy people away who could be good people in your situation, but you'll never know because they're scared of you. So therefore, in those types of relationships, I'm the nice guy. I'm the coworker. Don't make me be your boss. In situations like this with the dispatchers, I'm the nice guy. Don't let me have to show you the other side of me. Don't make me have to show you the other side of me. And if you look at people who are owners, who are true managers, who, you know, you meet them and you're thinking they're nice people. Oh yeah, they get along, stuff like that. I want to work for you. And then you start working for them and you see somebody get out of line and what happens? Damn, I didn't know he was like that. Running your business, that's the person you got to be. You got to be the person that's able to get along with everybody. You got to be the person that's able to work with anybody. But when people get to the point that they start taking advantage of you and they start telling you what you're going to do, even though it's not what you want to do, then it's time to plant your feet and be a boss, be an owner, and let them know that shit's not going to work. And if they're not going to fall in line, fire them, just like a boss would, and get you somebody else. Your future depends on you. And if you are not willing to take charge of your future, your future will always be controlled by somebody else. And I don't care what type of relationship it is. I don't care what kind of job you have. I don't care, especially in this world of negativity. You got people that will see you happy and see you moving forward and see you with goals and mindsets, and they will go out of their way to destroy it just because they don't want to see you happy for no other reason. And if you let them take your mindset, they will take it. And once they realize they can take your mindset, they will control you. That's just the way life is. So, in this business of lease purchase, you are the owner of your company. You are the boss. These people that do things for you, your dispatcher, your service manager, blah, 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 they are your employees. They work for you. And if they're not doing what you want them to do, then you got to get somebody else. A lot of people don't know this, but when I was a super ego, I went through 10 dispatchers. And I went through 4. I went through 4 service managers. Gotta go. If you're not going to do what I want you to do, then you got to go. But then, like I said, planting my feet, standing my ground. Don't take my kindness for weakness. I am choosing to be kind. I am choosing to test the water to see what kind of person you're going to be. It is up to you to decide what kind of relationship we're going to have. If you're going to take me as a weak person, you're going to take me as somebody you can control, you're going to take me as somebody you can dictate to, we ain't going to have a good relationship. And it's going to be very short-lived. It's that simple. Everybody sees these memes. Don't take my kindness for weakness. I can do bad by myself. Blah, 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 blah. They don't really understand the meaning of those memes. Because the first thing they don't realize, or they realize it but refuse to accept it, is they the problem in their situation. Because they got somebody in their life who thought they were special. They got somebody in their life who tried to treat them right. They got somebody in their life who tried to do for them. And they took that for weakness. So they chose to try to control that person and mess that situation all up. So when that person said, enough of this shit, all of a sudden they're looking for a reason for why they can't control you no more. And that reason must be because you cheating on them, you got somebody else. They can't admit that they were the problem. They can't admit that the reason was them. They can't admit that that meme, I could do bad all by myself, was talking about them. If you in a relationship, control should not be a word in the conversation. Shouldn't be. payback, revenge, stuff like that should not be words in the conversation. People should be able to respect, treat the person they with, the person they supposedly love, the person with dignity and respect and love, and should want to make them a part of their life. But nah, they want to control them. And with these dispatchers, it's the same shit. They want to control you. Why do they want to control you? Because one, they're rated on how many trailers they got full. If they got an empty trailer, they doing bad. So their first priority is to fill the trailer. And if there's a load by you, they don't care where it's going. They want you to get it because that way their trailer's not empty. That way they don't have an empty trailer on their board. They're not looking at what you're making. They're not looking at your priorities. They're not looking at what you're trying to do or what you're telling them you need to do. They're looking at, oh shit, I got an empty trailer. Which is the first problem with the East Coast dispatchers. If anybody's ever driven the East Coast, you know that there are 1,000 East Coast runs out of any place you stop at. If you're on the East Coast, the easiest runs to book are on the East Coast. They're the first ones that pop up. And that's why these new people do nothing but book East Coast runs. And now they're considered a good dispatcher because their trailers are always full. But yet at the same token, the good drivers are always saying, nah, this ain't gonna work. Why? Because most good drivers won't drive the East Coast. Talk to anybody who's been trucking more than 5 minutes. Most good drivers won't drive the East Coast. If you got somebody with experience who wants to drive the East Coast, chances are they live there. But even most of them will tell you, the only time I go to the East Coast is when I want to go home. And if you got more than 5 minutes of driving, you know that. But yet, all these new dispatchers, all they want to do is book the East Coast. And if you fall for that, then you're telling them how new you are. And you're telling them how easy you can be controlled and you can be dictated to. You get the guys who have been here for a while, and you tell them this is what I want to do, and they're going to insist on you that you're going to do something else. That's somebody who's trying to control you for sure. They're trying to make you believe that they're your boss. You don't have a choice. And once you give in to that, they will always control you. They will always dictate to you. Just like in a relationship. So, again, you come to this business, you got to have your mind right. You got to come in here with the mentality of you are no longer a company driver. You got to come in here with the mentality of you are about to be an owner. You are about to be your own boss. You are about to run for yourself. And how much money you make depends on you with the help of your dispatcher. People tell me I ain't making no money because of my dispatcher. No, you ain't making no money because of you. If your dispatcher can't do for you what you need him to do for you, then you need to get a new dispatcher. It's that simple. It's that simple. Anyway, That's it for today, because I'm starting to feel like I'm giving a lecture, and I don't want to do that. We had real bad storms up north of here, Illinois, Michigan, Wyoming. Real bad storms. In fact, in Wyoming, they had high winds and snow. The 80 got shut down completely. I was shocked to hear that, but I knew they were going to get hit, because the storm over the Great Lakes, where all that shit comes from, was massive. So I hope everybody that was up there made through it safe. I hope everybody's out there safe on the road, making any money. And I'll see you guys next time.